Hello everyone and welcome to a new vlog. As you can see, I am at a slightly different angle right now. So I'm actually getting my camera angle set up for my first midterm, which is tomorrow. So I'm filming this on Sunday. I usually don't film on Sundays. I wanted to come on here and use this to set up my angle so that I can actually try and see if I can actually mark this on the floor so that I don't need to set it up again. Number two, there's actually some things that I wanted to talk about today that I wanted to do in the moment. This week is quite a hefty week, so I've got oh wow, I have 4 tests this week. I thought I only had 3. So I have midterm, microbiology quiz 1. Well, I guess it's on learning outcome 1. There's not much for me to do with that. It was like all review and it's important, but it's not, I don't know, the material's not that hard. It's not very new, so I haven't done a lot of studying for that. I feel like I kind of did on my own. Tomorrow, actually, when I'm done classes and all of that, I'm going to go to micro and just see if there's anything that I need to review, but it's basically just a review. Then I have a math midterm on Thursday. All of the math I've had no trouble with. It's fairly easy. In fact, I don't think it gets harder than like grade 6 level. And we're allowed a calculator too, so I'm not concerned at all. And then I actually have another quiz for med terminology. So this week is pretty intense for midterm just because our final is actually a week from tomorrow for that class. So it's a very, very quick course. I just gotta say, last night I had an amazing time with my work fam. We had a little bit of a staff get together. Look at what they gave me. So it's a Yeti mug, basically. Huge. Like, this would probably be my full worth of water in a day. And I don't know if you guys can see, hopefully you guys can see it, but it's like pharmacy themed. So I've got water in this right at the moment. But the second thing I actually wanted to talk about here is my thoughts after watching a particular video. So, as you guys may or may not know, I've been on what I call a meditation journey for a few years now. But I say meditation because it can turn people off to hear what is actually happening. So if you want to see what's actually happening and stick around for that, you can watch the next segment of the video. Not only do I meditate, but I've been on a journey of what some people refer to as awakening now. I don't know if this started during my first meditation retreat or if it kind of got kick-started by the second one. But I tell you, things are very, very strange. It's nice in a way to have what is happening be happening, but at the same time, nothing's really happening at all. I don't know how to really describe actually what is happening, but something has definitely majorly shifted. If it wasn't for this, I don't know, in fact, how I'd be holding it together right now. I am definitely feeling it with the midterm, but then again, I'm just like, I feel like I kind of have studied everything that I can at this point. My mind is very quiet, but whenever I start feeling it, I feel it everywhere else. So the mind, I can still sometimes sense it trying to do what it did before with, going through every scenario. I did have a weird dream though the other night that I do think my mind was trying to solve a problem in my dream, but it's just a massive shift from what I'm used to. So the video I watched was How Will I Know If I've Awakened? Angelo, I don't know if you ever watch any of my content. I don't know if you're interested in any of my stuff, but that video pretty much had me crying because I was like, yes, yes, yes. It's very hard to put it into words, and I don't even know how Angelo does it. But if you're wondering who I'm talking about Angelo DeLillo from Simply Always Awake. And although I don't watch much content anymore because I don't find it is as useful, Sometimes these videos really pique my interest, these really weird questions that people ask, because it's just like, oh yeah. Yeah, that's how I would describe that. I think I'll end this particular segment there. But when I refer to meditation on my channel, I'm often talking about what awakening is going like, and I just make it as meditation so that people kind of accept it and don't freak out when they see it. I'm also not an awakening teacher. I'm just sharing my experience of whatever I'm going through in the moment. So I think that's important to distinguish as well. I probably won't see you guys now until after my midterm tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm even gonna remember to film after that. I will try. I don't know if my work fam ever watches any of my videos, but thank you guys. I absolutely love this thing. I was a little bit surprised, and actually, you may not realize this, but a couple weeks ago, like my water bottle that I had that would like keep stuff actually really cold, that had the U of S Huskies logo on it, I dropped it, and now it like doesn't sit on a flat surface very well at all. So this came at like the perfect time, and it's my favorite color. As far as how I'm feeling right at this point in time, I know this is going to be challenging. Thinking about doing hard things, which actually comes from another video that I watched this morning, which had me crying in a different way. Nothing ever worth achieving comes easy. I learned that during my biochemistry degree. I learned that when I started in the pharmacy. And I have a feeling I'm going to be reminded of that many times throughout the next couple of years as I go down this journey to becoming a registered pharmacy technician. I'm looking forward to the journey, but also a little scared at the same time. Okay, guys, I just need to vlog what happened because that was one of the scariest feelings I've ever had. For this midterm tomorrow, I have to use an extension called Lockdown Browser, and it just basically like renders your device unable to like search anything or do anything. But I went to go and see if this thing needed an update, and it froze my computer. So I hard started the computer to see like because I couldn't even get the task manager to like solve to like exit out. Like everything was just frozen. I spent probably half an hour trying to get my computer to turn back on. I eventually just unplugged everything, took everything upstairs, and just waited, and all of a sudden the logo came on and everything booted up again. But holy crap, was that ever scary. Hoping actually that I can not use my second screen during this test tomorrow, because it just seems to make it that it freezes everything. So I don't know why that is, but I don't think I'm gonna need it because I'm just gonna need one screen. So I think I'm just gonna unplug my second screen tomorrow during the exam and have it on here because it seems to work fine as long as it's not on the second screen. And I noticed that too with when I was doing the practice test as well that they gave us on there. It was just a fun practice test. It wasn't for any marks. We didn't have to do it, but I wanted to make sure that my system would use it correctly. Glad I got that sorted out today and not tomorrow when I'm trying to write a midterm. But my lockdown browser is up to date, and that's all I wanted to know. Anyways, on to checking my math work now, because I literally did not know what I was gonna do, because I don't even know if my lockdown browser would work with my Mac. I don't know if it works with Mac. Enough of the panic for today. Hey, good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. I'm actually coming at you from a different angle now. I've moved my desk and stuff around a little bit so that I'm facing a wall. So they wanted us, or preferred us, to be facing a wall for exams. I get it because the whole idea is to be able to see what you're looking at. So I did some rearranging last night. I think this might actually end up working out a little bit better. First midterm yesterday went really, really well. I was really happy. There was a few things I missed that I shouldn't have, and so that was kind of annoying, but it happens. It was nice because to get the vibe of what exams are going to be like, especially when you're like in lockdown browser and all of that, was really good. And I was kind of more nervous I think, for the technology part of it than I was actually for like the content part of it. Because I knew once I got going on the exam that everything would be fine and that it would just be like any other exam basically. But it's just the complications of having all the technology involved is just a little nerve wracking sometimes. There's quite a few tests and exams over the next couple weeks just because we have a couple of classes that finish up by the end of next week. We actually have one that finishes up on Monday, and I think the other one's done on Thursday. It's basically pure pharmacy after that, which in a way I'm kind of looking forward to. The only other kind of oddball classes from that is communications, which is so important for pharmacy. I consider it a pharmacy course. And what's the other one? Oh yeah, anatomy and physiology, which is a lot. I feel like I spend a lot of time, but because there was such a break between like the last class and now, I've actually had the opportunity to go through all of my notes in that class. I'm starting to pick up on some of the things I was struggling with, which is great. And then there's just so much that's to review because of my degree. So I don't know if you guys can see here, but this shirt is still wearable, so for the longest time, I really only wore it with pajamas. I didn't really vlog yesterday. I didn't really feel like it. There wasn't really much to do. And besides having a few nerves with the exam, there really wasn't much going on. Sorry, I just suck at vlogging. I don't think I've vlogged for the last couple days. But one of the biggest reasons for that is because I've had like 4 tests in like this whole week, and it's a lot. So I just get like laser focused onto something and I just totally forget that, I've got this vlog thing happening, which I'm actually studying for another exam right now. So it's pharmacology. I'm not too concerned about it. I'm just kind of going through making summary notes and making sure that I can like answer the review questions that are at the end of the PowerPoint, which is actually really helpful to have. Just make sure that I've got it covered. So I'm making some notes on that right now. I do want to say my exams have went really well. I don't have the 1 mark back yet because it was like more of a show your work kind of thing. I'm happy with how this week is going so far. So that's great. Saturday, probably gonna have to be like taking some stuff with me so that I can do some stuff during my break at work. What I did was last night, so I've been using Anki for flashcards. The problem with Anki is that it only lets you do a certain amount of new concepts a day. You can change the settings, but then you're doing more work and more new information a day. So I was doing only 20 cards, which I should have known that wasn't going to be enough for a class that only lasted for 2 weeks. But I've recently increased it to 50, and part of me wants to increase it to 100 new cards a day. I don't know. I feel like 50 and 100 is kind of on the edges there, and like it's a lot of new stuff sometimes depending on what you're doing. Not really sure exactly how I want to do that yet. I'm just actually in a little bit of a break right now. I'm really not sure exactly what to expect with this test tomorrow. I've never had a test from this instructor yet. It's just hard knowing kind of what you need to prioritize sometimes, but another thing that's kind of concerning me, so I've been spending a lot of time sitting down, and I feel like I need to be standing more because Saturday I could be in a lot of pain after that if I am not standing enough. It's so weird to stand up. I don't know if they can really notice on Zoom whether I'm standing up or not, but I think tomorrow maybe I'll try. The thing is for me to stand up for most of the day, I have to have my compression socks on because otherwise my legs really start to hurt. And it's really bad too because I don't want to wear my shoes like in the room down here. So it's like hard because I don't have the proper support on my feet that I'm used to when I'm at work. What I did for med terminology was because this Anki thing has been too short to use a lot of it for that. I actually last night, so we just had the one section on the test. And so I went through that section and everything that I wasn't familiar with, I wrote down. And then what I did was, instead of studying down here last night, I just took a piece of paper, covered up the one side, and tried to name everything. Now, this wasn't a lot of information, so it was totally doable, but I'm almost wondering if what I need to do is create a separate Anki deck for the terms that I'm struggling with from the midterm on. I don't know. It's hard to know. Like it's testing me on the original stuff quite a bit again, which I need because it's a comprehensive final. But I almost wonder if I need a new Anki deck just to get in those newer terms as well. I might try that actually. I think a lot of it I'm gonna start tomorrow. I'm hoping that I have a little bit more time tomorrow. Like we're done at 3, and then which is nice. Being done at 3 is nice. 4 o'clock is a long day. Almost need to strategize this exam. And the thing is I've done so well in the tests and evaluations that we've had. I want to maintain that because I'd be really happy if I could finish with a mark that good. But I'm just hoping that my studying can pay off. And like I said, take it with me so that I know like which ones I need to focus on and all of that. It's hard because there's just so much information. What's been really cool actually is I've been getting used to using a couple of different sources. One is the drug product database, which is Canada's like database of all the medications, and it basically gives all the information on if you search up a drug. So you can search up a drug in multiple different ways, but generally brand or by active ingredients, which is what we would call the generic name. So that's been fascinating. And today we spend a lot of time going over like what are the characteristics of a good pharmacy technician and finding different legislation and all of that, because for those of you who don't know and are from other places, pharmacy technician is a protected title here, and so you actually do need to be licensed in order to use that particular description of your title. And you have to go through a lot of stuff to get there. This is going to be testing me in ways that I think even my biochemistry degree didn't test me. My why? Gonna have to be revisiting that probably quite a bit. Because there are a few times where I've been like, ugh, is this really worth it? Is it really worth it for the outcome? And the answer for me right now is, of course, yes. Like, why would I give up now? But it's just like, ugh, this is a lot. So, which I knew it was going to be a lot. I know it's an intense program. When you literally get told in the description that it's an intense program, you should expect that. But it's just like, this is absolutely nuts. Oh, another thing we got to search is the actual body that is like they do the licensing for both pharmacists and pharmacy technicians in Saskatchewan. It's SCPP. So I've been kind of getting quite familiar with where to find things on the website. And it's been a lot of fun to look around and just kind of poke around. Wish I had more time actually, because I just started poking around and looking at where to find different things. Hey everyone, happy Friday. What a day. What a week. I'd like to say it's over, but I actually work tomorrow, so I'm just taking a little bit of a break here before starting on doing some stuff. I think I might do a little bit of anatomy and physiology and then do a little bit of medterm. I really don't know the best way and order to do this in, just because both of them are kind of a priority and I don't really know what to prioritize more. So it takes a while to do the flashcards, but I feel like the flashcards, as long as I get them in the system, they're good to go, because then they're in there, but it's just so hard to know for sure. Had a test today. I did okay on it, but there was a part of me that was a little disappointed in it, just because I feel like I should have done or could have done a whole lot better. I think I'm confusing some of the terminology that I'm not used to hearing when talking about certain medications and like what certain things are reviewing, basically, or what certain things are referring to. Sorry, I had a weird notification pop up on my computer. Overall, it was a good week, and I am satisfied with how well everything's going so far, but to know I could have done so much better on something that I'm quite familiar with because I was maybe not quite understanding all the different types of terms that could be involved is quite frustrating, honestly. I'll have an idea next week. We're gonna go over the test. We weren't able to today, but I'll have an idea next week of kind of where I got mixed up, and hopefully I can make notes about that and just go, remember this is this is that. I feel like I'm in information overload, and then just got done with the computer class, which, gotta be honest, hard to listen to lectures. Like, I know what is kind of being talked about and referred to because I've seen it, but I just feel like until we actually kind of get onto the system, it's not really gonna make any sense. So it's just really hard to explain. I guess I need to print out next week's schedule. I don't have to do that tonight. I can do that on Sunday, but I would rather do that, I think, tonight. I probably will end up having to study a little bit tomorrow after work, which is going to be interesting because I get done with work on Saturdays and I'm just done. So I kind of I have to be really honest, I'm missing my free time that I have in between work because there's just not a lot of time for me to have just down to myself, and I didn't quite realize like how much of that downtime I was needing. Now, when I was at work, the downtime was personal space basically. So I needed that personal time to recharge, and now it's just like I just want to take a break from being hosed down basically with information because it feels like they've taken a giant hose and just went. I can't imagine though if you've never had pharmacy experience how overwhelming it would feel, or if you have never been in a medical training or medical class or all of that. I Medical terminology is a lot for me. I can't imagine what it's like for the people never seen any of it before. One of the things I almost feel like getting is like some type of footstool for down here because I like having my feet up actually when I'm working on my desk and sitting down. I did a little bit of extra standing today just because I was starting to get a little restless. For the most part, I've been sitting down. It just feels awkward. I think once I start getting with the computer class, once I start getting into curl, I'm probably going to want to stand up just because that muscle memory is there actually standing up. I think probably when I get to Monday, I'm just going to be like, however I do is however I do, and whatever I'm ready for is however I do, basically. So we'll see how it goes, how I'm feeling on that. But basically, if I don't know it by Monday at noon, I don't think I'm gonna, or Monday at 11, I'm probably not gonna know it by Monday at 1 o'clock or 1:30 or however long whenever I encounter that on the exam. But anyways, I think I'm going to leave this vlog there. If I do end up doing any time lapses, I'm actually thinking about how I can make the transitions between each day a little smoother because right now it's been very bricky basically in between each day. I think for this vlog that I was currently working on, I was going to make it so that the days are actually the transition so that it's a little bit smoother. Moving forward, I'd like to have something else as in between the transition periods. I don't really know what the best way is to do that yet. I'm still trying to figure out my format for this just because I'm always in this one spot because I'm trying to show what it's like. And honestly, it's accurate. I sit in this spot basically for feels like 10, 11 hours a day, whether it's in class or whether it's doing my own stuff after class. So I mean, accurate, but it's sort of boring to watch. So I'd like to be able to show that somehow or do something different with that. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So please bear with me while I try and figure that out. In terms of I'm basically in this one spot all the time, being hosed down with information, there's probably not more of an accurate description. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. If you're enjoying my content, if you like it, please do subscribe. Click that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the videos. If you've got any questions that you want answered or you want to leave your own interpretation or however you want to do, please do drop down in the comments and leave a comment. it does help the algorithm because it's more engagement. As for now, I think that's it for this one. So thanks for joining me, everyone, and I'll hope to see you next time. Bye for now.